I feel nervous, bro. Why? Fucking, you're the GOAT, bro. What the fuck? Asking me questions or... Please. Take it easy on me, bro. Take it easy on me.
Take it easy on you? Why are you a piece of man?
On social media, you actually show that you're a piece of shit.
I'm exposing you.
All right.
I'm exposing you today.
Bro, my honor to be sitting down right here, bro.
Nah, bro.
It's an honor because you've been having some big influencers sitting here. Some big, huge
Nah,
people.
but I mean, when I started doing the episodes, it was not about like having big people. It was about having people that have stories and people that could motivate, you know? I think that in itself is like more important, you know? Like, obviously, I appreciate everyone that comes and their exposure, their platform helps this platform. But I also want smaller creators, not like, I mean, you are huge, but other creators or other people that have stories to have a platform where they can share. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
But thank you for being here. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Influence Me. I am happy to be back. In this episode, I am super excited because I have a good now. I'm going to call him a friend because he gives me that energy. He gives me that vibe. Yeah. With us today, ladies and gentlemen, Jose Luis Medina.
Yep.
Thank you for being here, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. You look a little nervous.
Yeah, bro.
Why are you nervous for?
Because, I mean, you've been having some like great influencers, great content creators here, great, amazing guests. And I feel like, I feel like the seat is way bigger, you know, or big for me, but just a great company. You're a great dude. You're a great person. And just, I don't know, something new. You know, the last podcast I shot was like freaking like 4 years ago or something like that. So, yeah.
No, well, thank you for being here. I really we've been honestly trying to make this happen for a while. But obviously you're super busy right now. You're even shooting Hollywood and stuff, which I'm super fucking proud of. And we're going to talk about how you got to that, you know, because obviously you don't come from that type of background, you know?
Yeah, I know, bro.
So we'll get into that right now. But I first saw you in an event with one of the influencers, and that's when I first saw you. I checked out your work and I was like, bro, like what I like about your work is that you put a lot of attention to detail. You know,
Thanks, man.
I can tell that you like to color grade. I can tell that you like to make sure that you get detailed shots. And not a lot of videographers do that, you know. And I'm maybe one of them that just tries to create a story. But a veces que se me olvidan detallitos, you know. And I think that you're in the zone. Yeah, you're in the zone. So, and I feel that you do that very, very well, you know.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So talk to me a little bit about your backstory. Talk to me a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Puerto Peñasco, Sonora. It's called Rocky Point. It's a small city, literally crossing the border from Arizona. It's like 1 hour away from Arizona. Mm-hmm. Not 3 hours away from Arizona, 1 hour away from the border. It's a little, well, back in the day, it was a smaller city. Tiene playa, hoteles. Back in the day when I was, living there, no había tantos hoteles ni nada. Ahí fui a la escuela, al kinder, a la primaria, y a la secundaria. Ahí fui el primer año de secundaria hasta que, pues, mi mamá se quiso venir para acá y mi papá se quedó allá por otras razones, pero desde ahí donde nací en Puerto Peñasco, Sonora.
Damn, so how old were you when you came here?
I was probably, 11... I was like 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that. I think he was 12 years old.
How was it change? How was the change from being over there to coming here?
Well, it was a big change. But I only knew a little bit of the language, like not even probably like 5%. Because in the school over there in secundaria, what is it, elementary or no, middle school?
Middle school.
In Mexico, they only teach you like the basics in English. Mm-hmm. So coming over here, not knowing the language, and going to like a brand new secundaria, you know, brand new middle school, I didn't have a way to communicate with people, bro. Like the only thing I remember, people trying to bully me because they thought I was like from like somewhere else, like different countries, and trying to bully me. I never let myself, but it was hard for me to defend myself back in the day. But I remember I used to say the words like, I know say nothing, trying to say like, it's not true, because there were people were trying to, it's crazy, bro. It's just crazy. Sorry, I want to jump into it, but my mom and my dad got divorced when I was probably, all I remember when I was growing up is like my mom and my dad always like, fuck, fighting and just having like arguments all the times. And it was hard. It was hard. I had a really hard childhood. My dad was like addicted to drugs and alcohol, and my mom was always working. She always wanted to work and become someone in life. I remember my dad used to like hit her, bro. Like it was a really bad childhood. At times it was like kind of cool, but then most of the times, I would say 90% of the times it was like really bad. And then until they decided to divorce, the nightmare happened. The nightmare just started when all the divorce started. To the point where like my dad kicked us out of the house.
It started from zero.
Yeah. We lived on my mom's friends' houses for just rotating, bro. We were like, okay, we're gonna sleep 3 nights here, another 2 nights here with this friend, and another 2 nights over here. Like, we're just going back and forth. It was really a really hard childhood, bro. Yeah. It was just hard.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask you is because a lot of times, our experience in our childhood and the way we grew up sometimes determines and shows the reason, like how we turn out. You know, we see those things, you know, nosotros decimos, fuck that, like we don't want that lifestyle, or queremos salir adelante. Or I feel that listening to that, I can relate to that because I went through the same exact thing. My dad was an alcoholic, and he would beat my mom as well. And I wanted to show my mom, and I wanted to, my whole reason why I do this is to make my mom proud. You know what I mean? But our parents and our mom, especially when we see them suffer, is like what's como que los pega más, you know?
Yeah, bro.
Did that have anything to do with the person you are now?
A lot. Pretty much everything, bro. I promised myself when I used to see my dad, you know, doing all these wrong things. I promised myself that I want to be like him. I'm pretty sure you did the same thing at some point. I was like, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm not going to let anyone dictate what I'm going to be in the future. I mean, all my friends, bro, had like their family together. Like the mom, the dad, probably owned businesses. Because I went to like the middle school that I went to was like the higher, not the higher end, but was like the most popular one in my town. And I made it to it. And then I remember all my friends, I had like their family together. Like, oh, I have my Super Nintendo. I'm going to get the PlayStation 1 and I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. And I was like, I have none of that. But it's all good, you know. My mom was working, bro, all the time. Until now, my mom is just a freaking angel. Yeah, man, it was definitely what shaped me to the way I turned, you know. I remember when a block away from my house, there was a new church. They opened up a new church. The pastor was from Scottsdale, Arizona. He opened up a church there. And since my family was going through a lot, I started going. I was probably like 9 or 10, 11. I don't remember. I was little. I always had a calling from God. Like I always felt like He was always there for some reason. Always. And it's a fact, but at the same time, I always felt like someone was there with me. And then so I started going to this church, and the pastor treated me really good and everything. And then my mom moved out here first, and they left us in Mexico, and I was taking care of my brothers for a couple months, whatever. And I just wanted to be the one father figure for my brothers and sisters.
So you matured like quick, and you had to growing up.
Yeah, I had to. I remember at the church they used to pay me like $6 like a week, and I saved money. I have a little brother, Antonio. He was living with the nanny because my mom, como te digo, mi mamá se vino a vivir para acá, and estamos todos desparcidos en lo que nos veníamos para acá. Y me acuerdo que agarré dinero, and I took a taxi, and I was like, hey, take me this place. And I was pretty little, 11 years old or something, 10. And I went and I bought like a big old box of diapers for my little brother. It was like probably like one. It was hard, bro. It was like, people would make fun of me at school because I was working at the church. Like, crazy, bro, crazy. But that, like, at the same time, is like what shaped me. Well, like, I know I don't do any harm to people. Like, that's just not in me, and not to take advantage from people or like things like that.
Seeing where you're at now, the amount of things that you're doing now, shooting in Hollywood, we'll talk about that in a bit. But do you stop and reflect and stop and think like, shit, like how far hasta donde he llegado, de donde vine? You know, like, are you proud of yourself? Do you stop and think about that?
Yeah, of course. All the time, bro. All the time. Yo soy un orgulloso, obvio, de ser mexicano. Nací en México y todo. Bien orgulloso. Y cuando miro que prácticamente los latinos, los mexicanos, estamos haciendo cosas acá en influencers, making brands, making, you know, makeup, brands, all this stuff. Me da mucho gusto. Y por ejemplo, ahora que yo estoy haciendo todo esto, que estoy trabajando con big corporations, it's like, I sit down and I'm like, do you realize, like, you are actually hired to go all the way to Korea, all the way to Mexico City because they want you specifically. They could have hired somebody in Korea. They could have hired somebody in Mexico City to save money or save money on I don't know. Even money in Mexico, mejor han pagado menos para pagar, pero at times I'm like, it's crazy that they still believe in my work and they keep taking me to all these places. It's just, I reflect all the time, bro. I'm like, nunca pensé que iba a llegar así. Y ahora que it's crazy, bro, fíjate cómo da la vuelta la vida. Que esos amigos o esa gente que me hacía bully cuando estaba chiquito, some of them I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like, they were friends, but they used to bully me because my car, the car we had, or I didn't have a car, whatever, the clothes I was wearing. But now I have them on Facebook. So cuando subo algo en Facebook, esos muchachos se quedan like, oh, man, Luis, José Luis, congrats, and esto y lo otro. And I'm like, bro, I never thought I was going to be doing all this, obviously. Y cuando miren ellos, it's like, es una manera como comprobarlos que ellos estuvieron mal todo el tiempo. No más porque yo venía de un fondo familiar, de un background familiar donde había violencia familiar, había drogas, había alcohol, o una familia prácticamente destrozada, no significa que yo iba a hacer lo mismo. Al contrario, yo tenía que trabajar para hacer lo contrario. Entonces, cuando miran ellos, es like, wow. You know, it's crazy. Y ahorita me siento hasta más orgulloso de lo que estoy haciendo porque de donde yo soy, only a few people have made it. Un boxeador que se llama la Gallito Estrada is really big right now. It's from my town. And then I can say that myself. And then it's crazy because it's like not a lot of the people, and I try to inspire people from my town, people that I know, para que vean que no nomás porque estás pasando por pobreza o cosas familiares, que no significa que no puedes hacerlo, significa que actually tienes que pelear más duro y trabajar más duro, pues.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I like to ask these kind of personal questions, just because I know that there's a lot of people that are going through stuff, and I know there's a lot of people that want to follow their dreams, or, you know, que quieren salir adelante, que tienen un sueño, pero, you know, their circumstance or their situation is just kind of like mentally they don't pull the trigger, you know? And I think hearing stories from us, from people that I have on, that they've been through some similar situations or some hardships, that inspires them and that motivates them to be like, you know what, like, si se puede, si puedo, like, I mean, ellos lo están haciendo. Why video? What got you into video? What got you into this, you know,
the media and all that stuff? I started as a photographer. I actually started doing photography with my sister's camera. She had an Nikon D3200. And I started taking photos. I was like, oh, back in the day, I bought a little studio from Amazon. And I was like promoting myself like 10 years ago, this and that. I thought I had it. I bought some strobes, this and that. I was practicing flash photography. That was my main was flash photography. I learned flash photography from like zero. And then from there, started growing. Una vez pues trabajé en la construcción, bro. O sea, trabajé en la construcción, todo eso. Pero siempre me gustó la fotografía y todo eso. Cuando trabajé en la construcción, de hecho, fui manager en una warehouse. I was the manager of the receiving department. And I remember I was starting to do photography, and they wouldn't allow me to do photography because I was on their salary. So they needed me to be there like a lot of hours during the day, like 14, 16 hours a day. They say, yo, no, I quiero tomar fotos. Oh, Luis, you make a decision. Either you choose this career or you go to photography. And I was like, well, I have a safe check on this side. So I was like, me quedo aquí. But I was doing photography here and there.
How old were you at that
time? I mean, construction, I started, bro. I dropped out of high school, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I dropped out of high school at 16 and no tenía papeles yo. So I started doing construction for $750. I was doing construction like demoing and doing carpentry, pintura, de todo. $750 an hour. They gave me a raise, $8 an hour. Then I had the potential to become a manager at like the age of like 17. I became a manager in construction for like big projects. And then, yeah, I mean, from there, bro, construcción, hasta que metí una warehouse, como te digo. Trabajé en el banco sin tener GED. Más apliqué. Dije, I'm going to say that I have a GED. And I ended up working at the bank, and I'm like, oh. And then they actually wanted to make me a manager's assistant, a banker at the bank and everything. I don't know, because Beverly they saw my potential, or the way I talk to people, los hacía reír con chistes o así. And I was like, no, I don't want this. I want to be a photographer. Y the videography came when I started hiring videographers for my weddings, because I shoot weddings. And it just wouldn't deliver on time. They wouldn't edit the right way. They will probably edit like really like take forever, 6 months to edit for me. Which is, I mean, it depends on what project, right? But I mean, at the same time, it's like, dang, like
long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. And dije, ¿sabes qué? I'm gonna start doing videography. And then I'll just choose a really good photographer to go work with me. And yeah, bro, that's how I learned. Probably I've been doing video probably like full time, like 5 years.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, 5 years, yeah.
So going from shooting weddings to what you're doing now, like tell people, for those of you that don't know, like what the fuck are you shooting right now? You're in Hollywood right now, bro. You're like the GOAT. No. It's all of us, and then you just fucking took
bro,
off,
don't say
bro.
That, bro.
Like,
don't
damn.
Say that, bro. Don't say that. I've seen you doing big things, right? I've seen a lot of creators doing big things, and sometimes we focus on saying that success is like doing things like the ones I'm doing right now. Like, oh, I'm successful because I'm shooting for Hollywood. I'm successful because I'm traveling around the world. But really, I feel like the success is like doing what you love and enjoying it. You know,
happy.
Yeah, be happy about it, bro. It's like being success. I mean, obviously the money it's gonna come along if you do it the right way, if you're responsible, if you talk to your clients, if you treat your clients really well. Doesn't matter if it's a wedding, if it's a Hollywood star, if it's whatever. I feel like, I mean, ahorita trabajando con Hollywood he aprendido mucho. Sin saber is crazy story, because bro, I received an email out of nowhere, and then I'm like, because first I got the email from Frankie Rose. They wanted to work with me. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, I'll go. Yeah, I mean, and then lo hice. Y me llegó un email de Disney. Hey, you know, hey, we're recruiters. We're trying to esto y lo otro. Queremos que trabajes para una series que se llama Andor for Star Wars. And I read it and I was like, yeah, right. I was like, yeah, you fucking lied. How do you guys find me, you know?
Yeah.
And then I ignored it for like a week and a half. And then I received another email. Hey, let us know if you're interested. Please, if you need some background to what we're looking for, these are the links. And they sent me some links. And you know, when you have a page, for example, Instagram, I don't know if Instagram is your main source of income, but for me, Instagram is the main source of income.
Yeah.
Like, ahí me llega todo el cliente, pues.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I click on one of these links, I might get freaking hacked or something.
Yeah.
I was like, man, should I trust it? I was like, Lord, dije contigo. Boom, la aplasté al link. Y entro, and it was like actually a previous work from somebody else que hizo Thor, Love and Thunder, hizo She-Hulk, and otros videos en la red carpet. The quality was way different. The color grading was way different. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. I could probably even improve it. You know, if I shoot with stabilizer, if I do maybe improve the color grading or something. And then I was like, I'm in. And still, when I said I'm in, when I still send me the contract, all the guidelines, okay, you have to talk like this, you have to dress like this, like everything, still didn't believe it. He's a ¿cómo se llama? Witness. Until we booked the hotel, and the day of the shooting of the Andor, I still didn't believe it until we were literally walking down the Hollywood Boulevard.
Damn.
And we saw like the big old stage and everything. I was like, what? And then Diego Luna, bro. Come on, Diego Luna Mexicano, bro.
Bro, I saw you met him. I was like, damn, bro.
Bro, I was like, what? I was like, Diego Luna. And then that's nothing, bro, because I think then what after that, we shot it, and then they were happy with the video. But the crazy thing is, like, this is where I'm saying, like, treat everybody equal. Doesn't matter. Sometimes it's better, mejor no saber con quién estás trabajando, porque ahí sale lo verdadero tuyo, ¿no? Porque muchas veces si trabajas con una persona que es importante, tratas de a lo mejor impresionar de más o tratar de actuar diferente. Pero cuando yo estaba ahí, me acuerdo que me llevé a Alpa que me grabara Gibran, que me grabara BTS a mí, pero ocupaban otro ángulo ellos porque el fire marshal was like being a little whatever. And it was just me and the red carpet and him. walking on the red carpet with videographers. All the press was behind the little barrier, whatever.
Damn, that's crazy.
We had a lot
you guys
of
had exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. It was a guest, and we had a part of a Disney staff. So estamos trabajando ahí todo. Y él se va con una representante de Disney al otro lado de la red carpet, and I stayed with a really good gentleman, nice gentleman. He was right next to me, and I was recording, and I was like, oh man, like every shot I was taking, I was like, oh, it looks so good. Oh, this and that, blah, blah. I was like, oh, thank you for hitting me up. Then they hire me to, not they don't hire me, but they invite me to an Avatar rescreening for the old Avatar, but it was remastered 4K, 3D, blah, blah. They invited me and they allowed me to bring a guest, so I brought my friend with me and we met more people, this and that. They started taking me in consideration for all these things. And then they told me about Wakanda. Bro, but the thing is about Wakanda, it's a crazy thing about manifesting, bro. Because I didn't have the yes for Wakanda forever yet. I just was speaking into existence. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna keep posting content, and I'm gonna do my best to make it to Wakanda forever. Because there's another Mexican in that movie, the first Mexican superhero, especially when the superhero is ¿cómo se llama? Tenoch Huerta. And the superhero talks about Mexican and all the Latin America culture.
Representing.
So representing. I was like, I gotta be there. All of a sudden get the call, hey, are you interested? I was like, yeah. And then they call me again, like a week later. Hey, are you interested in going to Mexico City? We'd like to have you in Mexico City. I was like, what? So all of this is manifesting. Cuando conocí a Tenoch Huerta, casi me cagaba, bro. Perdón con la palabra. Casi me cagaba pantalones cuando lo miraba. I was like, bro, Tenoch Huerta, this guy is huge.
Yeah.
And then, man, working all this te hace reflexionar en que puedes hacerlo, puedes lograrlo, pues más es cuestión de creer en ti mismo. Y una gente dice, oh, yo creo en mí mismo, pero no mueve ningún dedo, bro.
Yeah.
No significa eso. It's like the hard work comes along. It always has to come along with believing in yourself, because no puedes hacer nomás creer en ti y no mover un dedo. Tienes que creer en ti y demostrar que tú eres lo mejor que se puede hacer, lo que puedes dar lo mejor. Siempre no puedes nomás decir, I believe in myself, but I haven't sold one thing. But what are you doing to sell things? Like, are you promoting yourself? Are you posting yourself? You know?
And I think that's where the discipline of you working at such a young age, me working at such a young age, a lot of people that working at such a young age, that es donde viene el discipline, es donde viene como like, we've been all the way in the ground, you know, what people consider the ground. And we've like, now that we're up, pero sometimes I'm not going to lie. Hay veces donde yo, and I'm be honest, yo siempre, cuando yo me empecé a llegar a cierto momento que dije, fuck it, you know, like I think I work so fucking hard, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. But that was a mistake, because te empiezas a acostumbrar, you know, te empiezas a acostumbrar de que fuck, like, y dejas ir oportunidades que tal vez, you know, te podía haber llevado a otro nivel.
Yeah.
And sometimes you stop challenging yourself. And I want to admit that, because I know there's probably people out there that are going through the same thing, you know. And this recent year, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to make sure that whatever I do, I want to do it better every single time that I work, you know. Like, if this video came out like this, the next one's going to be better, and the next one's going to be better. Because cuando yo empecé, así fue mi mentalidad. Pero en cuanto yo llegué, like, ya a tener more stable income, and my family and my kids were like more secure, it was like, I want to spend more time with them, which is not bad, pero como que sí le bajé el gas al pedal, you know. Sí. And that's where I kind of
you cannot kill the momentum, bro.
Yeah.
The momentum.
So talk to me a little bit about working with influencers, working with that experience of working with influencers, then working with Hollywood. Like, how does your family take it? ¿Qué te dijo tu señora? ¿Qué te dijo tu mom? What did they say? How did they react to that?
So, bro, I mean, and it's just crazy. I've been telling my friend here that we both do the same thing. Like, you shoot for influencers, you shoot for, like, I seen you doing videos for big artists and everything. You go to their parties, you shoot like a crazy video for them and stuff. And that's how I got to see your work, because I believe at one point you shot a video for Laura, and I was like, oh, this guy is actually pretty good. Pero no te miraba mucho, like, no te miraba de una manera como, like, I was like, no sé si se va a ser buena onda o se va a ser. Dije, me voy a esperar tantito hasta que llegue el momento para. No sé si pasaste con lo mismo tú.
What was your? I always want to ask people that, because my kids always tell me that I look like a dick.
Yeah.
So what was your straight up? What was your impression of me? Like, bien chato creído, bien chato.
No, es que era. Yo cuando me metí a tu página, creo que le hiciste. Yo hice el video a Laura del gender reveal. Before the gender reveal for Oakley.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Le hice, bro, that thing went viral.
That shit's dope.
Thank you, bro. And then we clicked. Laura, she's an amazing person, bro. Yeah, Victor. That video went viral even before there was Reels. Because Reels wasn't even a format back then. So my video got like over 450,000 views on Instagram. I was like, oh shoot, this got a bunch of views. I was like, imagine if I would have been a reel back then. It would have gone like freaking, I don't know, blown out or something. So at that point, I created that video, and then you created the video for the baby shower, I believe. Or something like that. You went to one of the parties for Laura. Yeah. And then you shot the video. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. It's actually really good. But then I bajé tu profile, and then no creo que miraba tanta foto tuya. No. Pero una que otra estabas así como, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna follow back. Like, he looks like, maybe a lo mejor como no stuck up, pero como un poquito más serio. Dije, a lo mejor no va a querer cotorrear o así. I was like, I'm gonna wait for the right moment. And all of a sudden, the moment came, right? Yeah. And then that's crazy because your work is good too, bro. Like, it's clean, and that's why you have the reputation as well. Like, you been having influencers here working with you. I mean, having the talk show with you, the podcast. Has invitado a grandes personas, te han invitado, también te han hecho hire para ir a eventos grandes y estar grabando y todo eso. Y eso no es fácil, bro. No cualquiera puede hacerlo. Vamos a ser sinceros. No cualquiera puede hacer hire, porque los influencers, sabes que they depend on their content. So if they post a content that is not like with all this to
their standards,
bro, and then that has some sort of value, they're not gonna probably hire you. So when you add that value to them and you connect with them, they're like, okay, if I don't have this one is also really good, or this one is also really good, or this one. Like, you always have like a little circle of team y te hablan o no, pues entonces, yeah, bro, I saw your work, and I really thought you probably like a little more serio, más sangroncillo. Yeah.
And that's what my kids told me, and that's the reason why this year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start fucking posting a little bit more of myself, because I really, like you're saying, I really don't like, que no me gusta la atención, güey. Like, but I mean, when I started shooting influencers, like, oh, can I put you in the vlog? I was like, oh, I don't know, like, I guess, yeah, cool. Yeah. But like, I've always been like, I don't like that attention. You know, no me gusta. Even I have this shit, you know, right here, pero no me gusta como, even recently, I just went to go do the event for Glam Tender. Shout out Glam Tender. Me invitó al evento que hizo este fin de semana con Grupo Frontera. Yeah. And bro, people started coming up to me and they're like, hey, like I'm a big fan of yours. I've been watching your stuff, and that has never happened to me. And they started asking for selfies. Bro, selfies, la neta no soy de esas personas, you know? And I was like, oh, sure, like, cool. The first one, it was kind of weird. The second one was weird. So la mera verdad, no me gusta ser así. So I guess I do that more serious, kind of like just to not get that attention. Pero no, when I first saw you también, I was like, dude, this guy is like buena onda. I think you were collabing. You guys shot an event. I remember it was with Abraham. Labrada 7.
Yeah, yeah.
Labrada, yeah. So I think you guys were in an event together. And you guys were saying like, you guys were like, oh, we're finally meeting. And it was dope to see.
It was Flora.
Yeah.
It was Laura's.
It was that event?
Yeah, because he was there too, shooting for, I think, Elegancia
events. Yeah. So that's the day that I actually saw you first.
Oh, that's cool.
So I saw you there and I was like, oh, cool. I started checking out your stuff. I was like, damn, this guy's fucking dope. But igual, like, I don't know what it is about content creators, or I don't know if it's just me, you know, but al principio is more like, oh, I'm gonna see his work, I'm gonna check him out, I'm gonna see, like, you know.
If he sticks around, because I mean, it could have been a one-time thing, you're like, oh, a lo mejor su trabajo no era tan acá, pero I mean, es lo mismo que yo decía, a lo mejor, voy a ver si if he's still around, and I mean,
we bump into each other or something like that, you know, because I've had a lot of people bad experiences with other videographers cuando igual como Abraham fue con Elegancia events, right? Right now I think that's a thing where the wedding planners or their wedding coordinators or whatever, the event coordinators are taking their own staff or their own videography team to promote them, and that's totally fine. But a veces donde sí hay personas que se convierten sangrones o si se comportan así. And I've had those experiences. So now it's like I keep my guard up and I keep like, okay, you know, like no voy a hacer eso. And but no, like I really want to change that this year, bro. I want to, instead of coming across sangron, I want to come across, you know, like más buena onda. Let's bring value to people out there that are videographers that are in this industry también. What is your top 3 things that you can share with them that has helped you along the way? You know, maybe something that you would have told yourself a couple years ago, like, hey, do this, that way you can get to where you're at now.
I would probably say I never shadowed anyone when I started. I never shadowed anyone. I never offered myself to help anyone because I felt like no one was going to pay attention to my work. Like, oh, can I shadow you? But then, mi trabajo, a lo mejor me van a contratar. Pero I will definitely recommend to network with more people. I feel like, for example, like this is actually a situation where like I saw your work and you saw my work, but then we were there, you know, but then decíamos, ¿sabes qué? Hasta que nos crucemos, o hasta conocer cómo somos, o mirar más de su personalidad o así. Creo que eso pudo haber sido diferente si nos hubiéramos hecho a lo mejor conectados desde un principio, dejar a un lado las impresiones o sí. Creo que eso es muy bueno. Si pudieras conectar con más gente que está en un nivel bueno, si puedes ofrecerte a ayudarles, a ofrecerte a hacerles behind the scenes, just learn from them. The only thing is that if you really want to learn, it's like you have to put in the work. It's not like, oh, hey, bro, can I shadow you? And then the first time I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go this time, but what probably next time? Yeah. You're like, no, you just lost your opportunity. So there, I would definitely recommend for you to try to network more. Definitely. The second one will be always try to improve your craft. You got to learn your equipment, you know, for you to be the best, because at the end of the day, when you hold that equipment in your hands, you start recording, you become one whole, you know, one whole, I mean, person, o te puedes decir, o una pieza completa, a whole piece, you know, because you're recording and then you take control of everything, you know, like the lighting, everything. So I would definitely recommend for you to learn your camera, your equipment, your editing software, and just go for it. And then the third one is just work hard. I mean, keep improving yourself. I'm the type of guy that will always preach about believing, creating, have your family close, build really good friends. Don't care about who's growing more. Don't care about who's growing less, who has more followers. Nothing like that, because I learned on my last Sunday church service, I mean, it was kind of clear, but when they said at church, they're like, you know what, like, you don't necessarily need to have 1 million followers to influence people. You can have 0 followers and influence people because the way you approach them, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you educate or try to be a leader to others. So definitely, that's one of the things. Just like keep your circle small, like, and really tight with you. Like, surround yourself with people that are hungry and que tienen hambre de hacer lo mismo que tú y querer mejorar, y todo eso definitivamente te va a ayudar muchísimo, porque tú sabes, ¿no? Te juntas con gente, por ejemplo, que tiene la mentalidad de crecer, tiene la mentalidad de estar en otro nivel y todo. Te juntas con ellos y you're like, that's true, bro. Yeah, you pump me up. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. It's kind of like, you know, I think que no te puedes juntar con alguien que tiene la mentalidad baja. There's a saying that your character, your persona reflects your 5 people that you surround yourself with. Yeah. So basically, if you surround yourself with like nothing but like people que están tome, no, o no estoy diciendo que toma es mal, sino que estoy diciendo que están perdiendo su tiempo en cosas que a lo mejor no vale la pena, a lo mejor no tienen sueños o no tienen metas. Si te juntas con ellos, va a ser muy difícil que tú los jales. Mejor busca un círculo que te va a alimentar, que vas a crecer, porque eso te va a elevar, bro. Todo el tiempo de esta vida es de elevarse. You know, there's always growth in this life, so.
Yeah, when I worked in landscaping, I had those. What I would do is listen to people's stories. You know, I don't know if you worked in construction. There's older people there, but I was like 19 when I was working in landscaping. Y pues yo les preguntaba, no, pues cómo llegaron, you know, what the fuck, you know, what's your guys' story? And they would tell me, and one of the things that they would say, which Gary Vee says a lot, is like regret. You know, they would regret the fact that they were stuck working in landscaping at 45, 50 years old because they ya no pueden hacer nada. You know, obviously, unfortunately, they don't have papers, and that's the life that they had. So they would tell me like all the time, and those were people that se puede decir like they were stuck in that job, pero a mí me estaban diciendo, no, mira, güey, no te estés perdiendo tu tiempo aquí, like trata de buscar otra alternativa, like follow this, follow that, and that's very true. Like once I started hanging out with people that had goals and had dreams and had ambitions and had those wants of like being successful, like it kind of como que se pega esa madre, you know, like
yeah, claro.
like you're like fuck,
claro.
all right, cool. I want to do this shit too. Like it's possible. And again, that's the reason why again I do these podcasts, because I want people out there that are stuck or that maybe think that no pueden or
doubting themselves.
You know, they doubt themselves to follow their dreams. Talk to me a little bit about that, because with all this happiness that you have, there also comes moments even in my life where it's like shit, I don't wake up, you know, motivated. Does that ever happen to you where it's like you have your down days, or like your days where like fuck man, today como que it's not my day today? How do you work through that? How do you push through that, and what gets you going again?
That's a really hell of a good question, bro. I mean, we all go through that funk, you know. There's a moment where like we get back home from a long trip, and you're like, you see all these lights, all these superstars, all these influencers, these big brands working with you. You're known at some point because I mean, look, me ha pasado que por ejemplo estoy en Avatar, me tocó conocer cuando estaba haciendo Avatar many important people, and en la misma vez conocí, por ejemplo, al vice president de social media de Disney. The guy that was, remember I told you in Wakanda Forever there was this guy clapping?
Yeah.
He was the vice president of social media for Disney.
That's crazy.
So he manages Marvel and like all their stuff. So I was like, I didn't even know, bro. So, total, el muchacho, el señor, nos hicimos una buena relación y me dijo, ¿sabes qué? Miramos cómo te comportas, cómo te entregas, cómo haces esto. You pay attention to detail. When you like get all this attention and then you go back home and you're like, back in my room.
Yeah.
You're like, how do I edit? How do I start? But then a veces pasa donde es como te bajas, pero más importante es recordar dónde estuviste. Decir, you know what? Because you're only as good as your last gig. So you're like, okay, I was there. Now I have to hire this to a different level, you know, raises the bar to a different level. And you're like, okay, almost okay. Lo que hago es me baño, boom, meto a shower, cold shower, put like really nice clothes to be in my house. That's what I do. I go, shower, boom, nice clothes, a nice outfit. Sometimes I te preguntan de que, ¿dónde vas? ¿Dónde vas? And I'm like, no, I'm going anywhere. I'm just going to edit. Well, it seems like you're going to go somewhere. I'm like, no, me voy a quedar aquí en la casa. And I'm editing, boom, boom, boom. I order a really good meal. Even though if I'm in a diet or going to a gym, I order a really juicy meal. It could be like freaking tacos. It can be a In-N-Out burger, whatever. Y tengo mi meal ahí, todo eso, un Red Bull. Y a editar. Yeah, I'm addicted to editing, bro, at times, because at times I'm like in front of my computer and I'm like, what else do I edit? I need to post content. Edit a quick edit video. Boom, 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 un reel. Boom, 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 acá. Sí. Editing content todo el tiempo. So, eso te ayuda mucho. That's one of my rituals que hago, que me baño con agua helada, me cambio con un buen outfit, agarro una buena comida y eso me inspira, bro. De volada. Y mira, obvio, mirar a mis hijos me inspiran mucho. My kids like mean the world to me. And then my wife is really supportive. So, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, she's really supportive. She's always like, oh, esto y lo otro. Like, tú puedes hacerlo. Si ya lo dijiste una vez y se cumplió, lo puedes volver a... My wife is really supportive, bro. That helps a lot.
Yeah, yo siempre también, when I get into that funk, I don't know why, but I'll shower, do that. Pero yo me gusta ponerme perfume. I like to smell good. Like, once I smell good, I'm like, all right, cool, fuck it. I'm going to start stuff, you know? But I mean, I like to treat myself after. I'm like, all right, once I'm done with these 3-4 projects, I'm going to go get something to eat, you know? Like, I'm going to treat myself with something. So, I think definitely también cleaning your desk before, you know what I mean? Like, before, siempre tengo un cochinero, and I was like, oh, shit, you know? Yeah, so it's like, once you clean everything and you get everything going, you're like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't know, like a fresh start, you know? That type of thing. That's good advice, bro. Like that's really good advice for videographers. When it comes down to working with people, when it comes down to working with influencers and ordinary people, you know, what is something that you learned that you know now that maybe you didn't put in practice before, that's helped you right now?
Oh, right now, in the past, me acuerdo que me tocó trabajar con Eder Dos Santos back in 2019. Crazy, because this comes to the same thing, like believing in yourself. Eder Dos Santos es el hermano de Gio Santos and Jonathan Dos Santos. Me acuerdo cuando le mandé un DM back in 2018. I was like, I'm sending him a DM. He has less followers. Hopefully they can see my work. He replied like a year and a half after, bro. He was like, hey, bro, ¿cómo estás? I was like, what? He replied, got in touch. We liked each other a lot. puro WhatsApp, puro cotorreo, bro. Te pones mensajes ahorita, puro cotorreo, güey. Y luego me acuerdo que nos vimos. Y esa cosa que te digo es como, like, ser tú. Qué bueno que a veces no sabes quién es quién, pero siempre ser tú. Uno de los consejos que puedo darles cuando conoces un influencer, ser tú, no trates de impresionar, no trates de actuar como que... En otra cosa que yo respeto mucho es la privacidad. Por ejemplo, si ando con un influencer trabajando, I don't like to take a camera and be vlogging like, okay, like cosas y poner cosas como para agarrar views así. No. I actually respect the time. Like, hey, I'm going to post 2 weeks after you, a week after you. Is it okay if I post this? If it, you know, siempre estar en contacto, pero como te digo, en entonces no grababa. En ese photoshoot no grabé. It was probably the biggest one I had back then. I was like, no manches, no grabé nada. Y ahorita todo es para Reels. Todo te ayuda mucho grabar en Reels como just behind the scenes de lo que estás haciendo. Just a couple clips. And that's gonna give you también como un tipo de reconocimiento por la gente. Decir, oh, he's working there. He worked with this person now. And then you work with a higher person. And then ya te miran diferente. Like, oh, like now you're working with this person. We saw you. I'm pretty sure you get that too. Like, cuando te dicen, oh, te miramos trabajando con esta persona. Congrats, esto y lo otro. So it feels good, you know? Like, yo digo que ahorita es ser tú, y si te permite la persona o así grabar poquito contenido con tu teléfono, don't go all out. Don't be all out and then tagging people like crazy, like right there, like sin pedir permiso. Tienes que respetar la privacidad de los influencers, de los actores y todo eso en el momento que pasa porque ellos están creyendo en ti, pues, que tú estés ahí, que estés presente. Eso. He visto muchas personas que en cuanto llegan a un lugar de volada grabando cosas que de más, y a lo mejor se puede meter hasta en problemas porque you can expose people to things that they don't want to show, things like that.
Yeah, so, and that's a really, really tricky kind of line, you know, to post. Yo tengo una rule with my events. When I get hired by an influencer or by a celebrity to go shoot, if they want to take a picture and they tell me, oh, Ben, let's take a picture, you know, that way you can post it. Bien. Pero yo siempre, especially if it's my first time working with them, I have to work with them 2 times for me to take a picture the 3rd time.
Yeah.
I do that because I like for them to know que yo no estoy ahí para take advantage of their clout, you know?
Exacto, bro.
I'm there to work and to make sure that I take out the content that they hire me for. Y ya después, when they hire me and I have a more closer relationship with them and if we vibe, then I'm going to be proud to be like, you know what, I work with this person. I'm not just going to go, oh, I just had this opportunity to work with this person. No, una selfie. I don't like doing that. You know, like I like to, if I have a good relationship with them and I post them, it's because me la llevo bien con ellos and we clicked, you know?
Exacto.
So I would definitely say like for any content creators that start working with influencers, start working with people that are known, that have a platform, is respect their privacy, respect their don't be fucking annoying because I feel that sometimes it can get like that. Like I
have an experience with one of my assistants one time. You want me to say it?
Let's go for it. So
we shot the Oakley's birthday party, bro.
Yeah.
No, not him.
Y empezó a todos con todos.
So we were shooting Oakley's birthday party, right, last year. And then I took him as a photographer and I took an assistant and it was me shooting video. My assistant was shooting video kind of like behind the scenes too. And, but he knows a lot of YouTube. Like he's really familiar with all these family YouTubers y todo eso. And I told them, please guys, I was like, please respect the people. We're there as professionals. Obviously, we know that I know a lot of those people, but I'm not going to go and hang out with them. I'm actually hired to be there. Getting paid to be there. Like, my work is to like record and shoot, and then whenever we can get a break, we can get a break. I was like, never approach anyone as in like, oh, I'm a biggest fan. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You're there as a professional. You want to be remembered as the one videographer or content creator that was there shooting video. You don't want to be remembered as like the stalker or whatever, you know? As a fan, exactly. And then I had seen Vlexen en VLEX and a lot of en otros eventos y así, nunca hemos hecho match. I was like, that's cool to meet him finally. And then, but my assistant was like a big fan. He has bought merch from him, like bags ever since he started.
Freaking out.
Bro, I was like, okay, guys, esto y lo otro, pum, 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 walking, grabando. Y luego mi amigo, no, the only thing I heard is like, oh my God, it's Felix. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, cállate. And then he's like, bro, it's Felix. Oh my God. And then Felix was coming in and then Felix se rió. I don't know if lo escuchó or no. I don't doubt it. And then I was recording, blah, blah. And when I was recording, ya después le dije, güey, hagas eso, like, respect, like, ahorita se van a acordar de que eres un fan más de que eres un trabajador o que eres un un videographer. Estamos en la línea de los tacos, del Tacos Guarazo. Estamos en la línea, and then I said a joke or something, and then Felix just smiled. I don't know if he smiled at my joke. He was right behind me, and he's like, ah. And I volteo, and I go, hey, man, you know, se rió de mi chiste, so we had something in common. So I was like, hey, nice to meet you, bro. You always have to give him a compliment, you know, a fan of your work. If you ever need anything, we're here. But then, nice to meet you, man. Yeah, nice to meet you. Just like that. I didn't ask him to follow me or anything. But my guy, as soon as I had that conversation, my guy interfered, and he's like, oh, my God. I'm like, I bought your merch back in the day when it was like 2000 something. And I bought this bag, the one drop, and I bought this shirt and the sweatpants. And I'm like, oh my God, like really? He's becoming, and literally that one moment right there, kind of like, it was one thing that I was trying to avoid, because now he's going to be remembered as a fan more than the content creator that was working with me or working at the event. And then I conocí a Lai Sebas. Y ahorita Lai Sebas, dije, oh, Lai Sebas, like I've seen him everywhere, you know? And I didn't want to approach him. Until Lai Sebas, literalmente me hizo approach. Me dijo, hey, bro, you flying the drone? Yeah. And then when esto y otro, me dijo, what's your Instagram? I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I didn't have to ask him for my Instagram. He actually offered himself. And I was like, yeah, bro, I've been following you, bro. I was like, he's like, yeah, man, cool. He followed me. And I was like, that's cool. Like, él se ofreció. And that's one of the things that te los consejo. Don't be a fan. Like, just be you, you know?
Because they want to be, they get so much of that when they go out. They want to be treated like normal people, you know? Like they want to be treated como the same. Like, okay. So, like, como tú dices hace rato que tenías el WhatsApp de your friend. Cotorreas con él como si son compas, you know? And I think that's what influencers or celebrities want to feel of, like, just that normal, like, hey, you know, I just don't want to feel like I have to pretend, or not pretend, but like, show como that character that they portray online, you know, that they just want to fucking chill, you know?
Yeah,
like, fucking scratch their nose, let them scratch their fucking nose.
Yeah, saque su moco, que se lo saque, no grabando que se saque el moco.
Yeah. No, well, thank you for being here, bro.
No, thank you for having me, bro.
I really appreciate this conversation. We can go on and on like about like video stuff. Like I really do have like a lot of questions, but we'll connect and we'll stay in touch about maybe creating more content together. I would be a pleasure, and I'd be honored to work with you one day. You do great work. I'm fucking proud of you as one content creator to another content creator, bro. Keep on killing it.
Thank you.
You got positive vibes throwing at you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you for taking the time and pushing this back. We were supposed to meet a little earlier, but then you're pushing it back, pushing it back. Good. Thank you for making it possible, bro. You're a really humble person. And I see we connected even more with the childhood and all this stuff. So I like you, bro. You're a really good guy. You have the quality. You're a hard worker. And then keep posting about yourself, bro. Keep posting stories, talking about the stories and everything. Para que la gente te conozca también como tú dices.
Yeah.
I want to start posting para que la gente que esté no. Yeah, bro. But thank you for having me. And beautiful studio, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Well, that being said, guys, I'm going to link all of his links down below. Make sure you guys go follow him. Go check out his work. And that being said as well, go follow my links. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this post with anyone you know. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.